What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the top of the map in the green color, playing as Zeus. His name is Ninjo. We are unprofessional today with a scroll speed of way too fast. His partners today in the teal color, playing as Odin. His name is Mosca. And finally, we've got Tunison in the red color, playing as Thor. Their opponents today in the purple color, playing as Zeus. His name is Revan. Revan Team Game, apparently. This is Revan's unique nickname for playing team games. On his partners today in the blue color, playing as Hades. His name is King Dragon. And finally, rounding out the team as the Odin player, walls equal win. Now, I'm fairly sure that this team is the Greek team. They always sign up to these tournaments, or they did sign up last season under a different clan. I think this is a new clan for them. Can't exactly remember what BBF means. Best buddies forever, maybe. I don't know. I should probably know these sorts of things. Hang on, let me see if I can quickly look up, or if I'm silly. Anyways, their opponents today, while I look that up, we do have CUD here. So CUD is a very, very strong clan. Super... No, I've got BBF written everywhere. I've got BBF where... Wait. Yeah, no, never mind. It's just BBF. It doesn't mean anything. It's just a couple of words. You've seen that... What's that movie? What's that movie? Come to me. It's the one... War Dogs? War Dogs? Is that what it's called? Maybe. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. It just sounds cool. We got another team game here. This is still group stages. Still got a couple more games to go, or not a couple more games, a couple more weeks to go in the group stages. This is actually the first week, but every team is basically plays a round robin in their group. So you're going to see around about 4 games from each clan before we move on to the knockout stage, which then moves on to a best of 5. And things get good. Things get good very, very quickly in this team game championship. I mean, basically, it's not a knockout situation right at the beginning, but it's basically you've got to win every game. Otherwise, you're not going to be guaranteeing yourself that next position, that opportunity to go to that next round needs to be as high of an opportunity as possible. So got no chance to mess around here. We do see a random forward temple here from walls equal win here, as we're seeing King Dragon also dropping his temple. I'm interested to see if this BBF team is going to go really, really aggressive. We see more temples coming up all around the same time. So maybe like a 4-minute 30 type of rush here. Not a crazy fast rush, but a well-coordinated rush can be really, really strong. I just sent Twitch chat into a universe with people starting to write. My Big Fat Greek Wedding, that is a great movie. That is a great movie. I need to watch that one again. All right, so we'll see what's going to happen. We see the Athena coming through here for Revan. We see the Hermes coming through for Ninjo, though, with another Athena coming through for King Dragon, as well as that Freya. This BBF team is in sync at the moment. Tunison advancing a little bit later on there. We're also seeing Mosca with a very, very late advance time here as well. And the Hermes, obviously, for Ninjo is going to be a big one. He knows that the opposing team here doesn't have a Loki player. Or probably Loki was banned in this game, in this tournament. Both teams get to ban a god. So there's 2 gods that are just out here. So we'll see how things are going to go. But it's very, very risky going Hermes here. As soon as I see a Hermes Zeus player, as if I'm going aggressive, I'm going to say, guys, we got to revert over and we have to hit that Zeus player, because you know there's going to be no military units there, or very, very few military units there. They'll hit ceasefire, but they're still going to get absolutely pounded by a big rush. But we'll see how this BBF team is going to be going, as the military academies for Revan getting dropped down. No Toxotes here for Revan. A little bit risky on that one, as we do have a bolt there onto that Valkyrie with the Centaur of Ninjo coming in, going to be attempting to snipe down walls equals wins. Skraling there as it's going to be running away. The Herso just going to be ignoring this one for the time being. Taking a little bit of a beating here. Have to continue to ignore that center just for a little bit as the centaur says, I'm going to try and catch the Skraeling out. But the Minotaur is in for Revan. Going to be ignoring that one. It looks like the Skraeling does end up getting sniped down there. Nice play by Ninho in the early stages of this game as the Jason in for Ninho as well. Going to be taking out King Dragon's Minotaur. They're going to be retreating away as a lot of units in onto that middle stage there. We do see the Minotaur walking forward here for Revan. Going to be looking to put some pressure onto Tunis in here. But it looks like this Jason here is causing a lot of problems as raiding cavalry are starting to come out here for wall equals wins. We've got the Valkyrie over here for Tunison as well, but it is getting chased down by the Chiron. Nice defense where that's concerned as the two Centaur coming through with that Sylvan Law. Going to start being really, really painful to deal with, but with a Chiron out on the field here for King Dragon, he can kind of track these Centaur a little bit and try and deal with those. So it shouldn't be that big of a deal as we do see the King Dragon Toxotes coming through. He's gone for double archery range. BBF are saying, you know what? Let's not bother with anything specific. Like, we're not going to bother with a 1v1 strat. We got teams here. So we've got, not only do we have Revan going full hoplites, not only do we have King Dragon going full Toxotes, but we've got walls equal wins going for full raiding cavalry. You've got the infantry, you've got the archers, you've got the cavalry. It's all in here. So we'll see how it's going to go as these Centaur still over on this position. Unfortunately, it looks like the Chiron was not brought over to track those Centaur. Now we see Chiron coming back in to attempt to deal with this. We've also got the Sentinels down from King Dragon. Nice defense where that's concerned as King Dragon walking through, going to attempt to get some good damage done onto this position. Unfortunately, not getting too much damage where that's concerned as well. As Revan retreating back, we've got the units waiting out on this position. More and more is going to be coming through here as we see Revan sneaking up onto this position. The wall chips are already around the towers here for Tunis, and he's got a really, really nice defensive base. The Toxotes and King Dragon going to be working together for the time being as these Centaurs still coming through, but we do see the Chiron is in. Ninho not paying attention here. Some good damage coming through there by King Dragon's Chiron. Ninho is now going to recognize, well, the Chiron's out of position, so I'm going to go and hit a different location here. This is kind of why I was saying, if you just go and attack Ninho, look at his base. He's got nothing here. We would take a ton of damage, but he's getting away with it here at this stage of the game as we do see one villager getting sniped down there. Nice marker from Ninho to be taking those out. Good awareness there as the Centaur now going to be moving back over to walls equal win base at this moment. Meanwhile, over here, we do see the Hoplites making a big roundabout move here. Not exactly what he wants to be doing. He's going to be getting caught out here. Forest Fire getting dropped down as well by, I think, wall equals wins dropped that one there, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he did. And Restoration coming through for Revan as well to help win this fight. But there's a lot of units here for Team CUD on the defense here as the Dwarves getting pulled off of this gold mine. We will be seeing the Hoplites getting some good value, but after the restoration is over, they need to retreat back. Mosca's in, Tunison's in, everyone's defended very, very nicely, but the villagers getting targeted down on this position. This is great, taking out Mosca's villagers here. Great find here for BBF. Exactly what they need because Ninjo is getting super damage done on this map at the moment as we are seeing the Centaur returning back over here to try and defend as those villagers will be pulling back here. Some raiding cavalry getting taken down. Meanwhile, over on this position, King Dragon having to defend a little bit, but it would be prudent for BBF to be figuring out a different place to attack. You do not need to just focus on one player when you're coordinating in these sorts of team games. You can move around different players, no problems where that's concerned. As the raiding cavalry retreating away here. We do see the Toxotes of King Dragon now moving out, and this is exactly what he needs to do, but he needs to be careful not to get caught out. Remember, Tunison and Moscow can potentially have tons of those raiding cavalry to catch them out. We do see a second town center up already for Ninho. He's gone for a peak boom here, a peak greedy boom at this point. Not only going for Centaur, which costs a lot of resources, but also going for that second town center. As now we see Tunison, he is ready to be unleashed upon the map. We see King Dragon trying to get himself his own second town center. These raiding cavalry won't be able to do all too much, especially with some Toxotes already over here. The town center is going to get finished up, no problems here. He could even turn around and shank that one, but just going to be retreating back and then garrisoning into the town center. No problems where that's concerned. Tunison is having to retreat back there. Nice defense there. Good awareness from King Dragon on that one. Meanwhile, the raiding cavalry coming through on this position for wall equals wins onto this position. We see Moscow already with the retreat. A little bit late on that one. Might lose a villager, but he can dive into that tower. No problems there. As we see the raid coming in onto this position. Villagers pulling back. Meanwhile, over here, the hoplites coming in. Going to be getting a little bit of damage done onto Tunison's raiding cavalry, but it might be wise for Revan to also be thinking about grabbing a second town center at this point. Same too over here for Walls equal wins, because guess what? The Centaur, they're just getting so much value. The thing about Centaur is the more town centers a player has, the less those raids hurt. Because like picking off one villager, it's a lot of damage, don't get me wrong, but if there's lots of villagers coming out and a Centaur player is behind on town centers, it doesn't end up mattering that much. But in this position here, Nino is on 2 town centers, plus he's got the Centaurs, so he is really, really pushing in front with these raids, where normally when you're going for Centaur, it's 1 town center versus 2 town center sort of situations. As the Centaur also pick up another villager of walls equal win there as well. As Mosca here still trying to defend on this location. Do see the Toxotes have managed to pick off adjacent over here as the wall's coming up for Mosca. I love that Mosca is using his own infantry units to get this one up. Yeah, it's a little bit more population, but it's economically speaking a lot more sound there. As the raiding cavalry come through onto a raid on this position, picking off 1 villager, it seems, getting back away from there. But we do see the hoplites coming through here for Revan. Attacking this base of Tunison is really, really tough. He's got a beautifully well defended base here for the time being, as the raiding cavalry coming through as well for walls equal wins. He still hasn't quite found the best of attacks here. Moscow's got himself 2 town centers. Tunison is going up to 2 town centers. The Toxotes here, they have found a little bit of a pushback on the villagers, but the Centaur, they're just continuing to take villagers out of walls equal win. He needs it might even be worthwhile just getting himself Thundering Hooves so he can chase down those Centaur so that his villagers can be a little bit more safe. He does manage to pick off 1 Centaur there. The Chiron coming through, but only manages to get 1 shot off there before starting to miss again. As the villagers pulling back here. Nino pretty hyper aware that just keeping the village alive is a good idea, as the raiding cavalry do spot this position here. Villagers retreating into the town center. Not going to be able to block off too many of those, but does decide to come in. Takes a little bit of damage from underneath the town center, but gets 1, 2, 3 villager kills there before pulling back. 2 villager kills? 2 villager kills there before pulling back. Nice play, but did lose the raiding cavalry as well, so a little bit tough on that one, as we see Mosca now hitting King Dragon's villagers on this position. Thundering Hooves now coming in as well for Mosca, so he can move across the map in a much, much better fashion here. Villagers retreating up to the top side here. Toxotes not going to be able to help out at all. Great raid here for Mosca. Meanwhile, on this position, though, Mosca is getting the return damage done on to... Walls equal win is getting the return damage done onto Mosca over here, as Mosca is not able to retreat away from this one. So many dwarf kills here on this location here. Mosca in a lot of pain, but the Centaur are over here. A handful of hoplites are in on the defense as well, and the raiding cavalry do need to retreat away, and walls equal win cannot afford to lose units at the moment. He needs to not be spending economy on raiding cavalry. He needs to be getting more towns and is getting his economy going here, because Skadi on the way for Moscow. Moscow 3 town centers. Town center differential here 3, 2, 2. What is that? 7 town centers versus what looks to be 5 town centers. So 2 town centers in front, meaning obviously 2 extra villages every 14 seconds. It's a big, big difference in terms of overall economy for CUD coming in. This is why it's really important to get those town center timings down in team games. Also, not being too greedy on the town centers while you do it. Otherwise, you just get run over some of the times here. But it looks like CUD's done it well. We do see the army in for Revan. Going to be pushing Tunison back here as he's Revan here is grabbing the forward hunt as well. Nice play here. I'm surprised to see Tunison not calling for some support here to turn around and take this fight, but he's going to be able to pull back through those walls here. We do have the raiding cavalry coming in, so catching that out is going to be a big, big bonus here, as we do have walls equal win looking for that one there on that position. Meanwhile, King Dragon here can kind of 1v2 for just a little bit here, because Moscow actually probably can't, not with Frost coming through, so there is a bit of a problem coming BBF's way here moving forward. We'll see how he can go, as we do have the army of Revan coming around on this position here. Tunison going to be retreating out here, as the walls going to be getting taken down on this position as well. Meanwhile, units coming through here. It looks like Revan will be able to get this town center up. There is a frost remaining. Have to remember that using it on 2 players' army here is going to be the best possible way to use that, as the raiding cavalry have come in yet again, not going to be able to get that damage done. Frost gets dropped down, but too little, too late there. And not only that, the raiding cavalry is still very much alive, as the Hoplites Toxotes looking for some raids to come in onto this position. Walls will need to be pinging this. You've got to be retreating away here. Looks like he doesn't even know this, as Ninho coming through onto this position, going to get some great raids in there, beautifully finding that and hitting King Dragon as well. Walls Win is in a really, really tough spot here in this game after all of those centaurs, as the Frost Giant getting some good damage done. Hillfort coming up on that position there for Mosca, as well as the raiding cavalry going to be leaving on that location. Dwarves getting taken out. Lots and lots of deaths there. How many villages does he have left in his base? What has he got? He's got 33 villages. That's more than I would have actually expected here, considering how many he's lost thus far. But if you take a look at Mosca, Tunison, and Ninho here, in fact, we'll take a quick look. We see a lot of villages for Tunison. Nearly 80 villages for Ninho, so he's nearly almost fully popped. And Mosca here has got tons of villages as well. So it's just a tough position to be in, as the Hoplites of Revan coming through, getting some good damage, catching Tunison out. This is really, really important. They can use this advantage now to get some serious value here, as Mosca and King Dragon are just in a back and forth here in the center of the map. No real advantages to be had just yet. So there is this big weakness about to be getting hit onto Tunison in this game. But the problem is Ninho. Ninho's going up to 4 town centers. Ninho is absolutely gigantic in this game. He's got a huge amount of infantry here as well. Not infantry, military here as well. Attacking this location, pushing off of gold mines. King Dragon needs to defend 1v2 here. And these are both really, really big players. And he's really not going to be able to hold that well, especially with like heavy raiders coming in and the like. We also see a Skirmishes coming through for Tunison as well, as the raiding cavalry do manage to pick off a bunch of Tunison's villages here. Tunison is getting the brunt of the damage, as the Hoplites coming in onto this position to try and take out the town center. Good retreat here for Revan, as he notices those units coming through here. Does mean that King Dragon now is basically 1v1 against Ninho, so that's totally fine for him, as the raiding cavalry is still taking down villages on this town center over here. Skirmishes is just about to come through as well, as a couple of these units get trapped out on that position there. The Frost Giant can get taken down very, very easily there by Revan, if he so chooses, with his Odysseus, but decides to retreat back as well. Hephaestus 61% here for Ninho, but King Dragon is also going through Hephaestus, so it's not all bad, so to speak, for BBF in this position, as the one Underworld coming through here for Ninho. Where did it go? It's onto this location to take down Walls Win villages even more here. This is really, really tough to play from the Norse play. Being behind on villages, you've got to make the most out of your army, and your army is already weak. So life is very, very challenging where that's concerned, as the Ninho army finds some villages over here as well. Great play, and we see the Plenty Vault in. The Hephaestus is in for both of these guys here, and the Forge of Olympuses will be following, as the raids still coming through from Ninho. Ninho might even be able to just make a whole bunch of infantry units and just push through the main base of Walls Win. Yes, he's got the Sentinels, but they're not that useful. 14 damage per second might seem like a lot, but it gets taken down really, really quickly, as there's no defenses on that position there. As we see Revan coming in to support King Dragon on the push in the middle. You have to remember there is still a Frost here, so grouping up against the Frost is not 100% what you want to be doing. And we'll see if Mosca is going to be able to call for that. Is it still available? Yeah, Tunison's still got it. So the other thing is Tunison might want to be holding that Frost for an Underworld. And while this is going on, we see the Frost Giants coming through, going to be taking down Revan's Ford Town Center on this position as well, as the Colossus coming in to start sieging down this position here. Meanwhile, over here, still more raids here, as Walls Win cannot even just get himself gold here. I mean, there's a world where coming in underneath like a fortress here and having your partners defend you is a way to go. Tunison dropping that Frost down, as to be expected, takes the town center down as well. He's going to be able to grab that town center for himself incredibly quickly, as Revan is just not in this position here to defend, and Balder is now coming through for Mosca. He is going to be clicking that one fairly early in this game. You'd have to expect, yes, there's two Greeks here, but they're not the biggest. King Dragon's pretty big here, so he would be able to make some pass miss, but he's not going to be able to defend this by himself with everyone else pushing forward. So there needs to be something very specific done in the defense against this Balder. Plus, you're probably also going to be having Tunison coming forward very, very shortly here as well. As we're still seeing raids coming through, also hitting the trade route of King Dragon. This is so brutal. King Dragon's boom has been really, really nice here, but in the end, Revan says the game is lost, and King Dragon and Wolsey will win. All decide to tap out in that one. Really, really well played here from CUD. Great defense. I liked the idea from BBF in the kind of, if you play together as a team, one player can focus on one line of infantry, of upgrades, one line of infantry upgrades or archer upgrades or cavalry upgrades. And so long as you work together well enough and counter your opponent's unit composition by being together, that can work and you can save those resources. The problem is they attacked the wrong player here in the early stages of the game. It might seem like attacking a Norse player is going to be the right way to go in the early stages of the game in a team game, but you know, oftentimes attacking the Zeus player who's going for Centaur, that's a really, really good way to play. And beyond that, even if he went for Athena here, I can tell you, I can count many times I've seen Heimdall rushes be effective against an unprepared Athena Zeus as well. So the idea of just rushing an Athena Zeus, that can work as well. So have that in the back of your mind when you're going into these team games, that there's going to be this possibility that Hermes comes through, and you really need to focus in on the Zeus, because you should know that they are in the weakest position possible in that kind of, like if they advance at 4:30, probably up until about 7 minutes, they're incredibly weak inside of their main base. Yes, they've got Centaur. Yes, Centaur are annoying, but picking off a couple of villages, picking off a ton of villages, or just stopping the economy of the Zeus play. You can even target down the temple and push the villagers off the favor there. That stops Centaur from coming out and completely ruins the strategy. Didn't happen in this game. BFF takes the L. CUD gets that win for game number 1. It is a best of 3. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys in the next game.